conversation, the conversation
Huh?
between you and Malcolm
Me and
in
Malcolm, yeah, man.
1964. That was about 1964, right? Y'all had this conversation. 63.
No, no, it was around 63 because I was serving him at the table.
Oh
I
wow.
was just 13 at the time,
How old were
but
you,
I
by the way?
13.
Because people are going to. You were 13 having this conversation with Malcolm X.
Oh
Wow.
yeah, yeah.
Wow. You bold.
Because he had a problem.
You were
See,
bold.
I came very close to Betty. See,
Mhm.
and he would say, "Is Betty okay?" And so da 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 da. He said, "Did she see anybody up under Elijah Muhammad other than his wife?" And I said, "She probably did. So did I." I said, "But don't make a big thing out of it. You know, don't make a big thing out of it. Everybody can't be loyal like you." And that was just serving coffee at the time. He snuck that over to me, and I was I was like really embarrassed because I really loved Donovan Elijah Muhammad. I was kind of embarrassed at the same time, but you have to reality always kick in. So I said, I said everybody's just not loyal. And then Betty would talk to me and say, "Can I call you later?" And we would sneak and take calls. Even after I was married, Betty kept in contact with me. Miss Betty Shabazz, she would call me like on Wednesdays when she was teaching at the University in New York. So on Wednesday night, that was our talk night, our chit chat time. And our Malcolm's already gone then, but I kept her a little level headed. She was pretty angry, and she didn't trust anything. She couldn't trust Elijah Muhammad. She didn't trust anyone. Yeah. So they went through a pretty heavy ordeal. Um, and it wasn't, Elijah Muhammad really loved Malcolm. He really admired him. That's why he said he can talk to people from the streets. That's what he loved it. He loved his technique of talking to people from the streets. He said, "That's why we need you. Um, you can talk their language." And he admired him for that. And when things started going south, Elijah Muhammad said, "Hey, I told anybody who was do not touch it, Malcolm X, do not touch him." And even though maybe there were some jealous members didn't like Malcolm, it's very possible. And it made it look like it was always coming from Elijah Muhammad, but it wasn't. He really admired Malcolm even after he went on his merry way. And he knew that he was going to learn more about Islam, you know, and a lot of members presumed there would be a threat. People, when you have a leader and you have people, a lot of times people do something the leader doesn't know, you know, and Malcolm was just loyal. He was just shocked. So a lot of times we get shocked about things. We don't understand them. And we have to understand that when people say things, they should be loyal to their word. Their word should be bond. But things don't always come out the way we want them. That's true. Malcolm, I was very, I think at the age of 10, 11, I was a very advanced young girl. Um, and I believe what I see. I don't understand a lot of stuff. I have never seen. I, I if I'm loyal, they'll be loyal, but it doesn't always work that way. I begin to wake up. Yeah.
You,
being a Muslim now under the leadership of Reverend Muhammad, and I see the Nation of Islam now saying the same rhetoric. It doesn't seem right anymore. It doesn't seem it's not what we're supposed to be. There are certain things that the actions is not the way we should have handled things. You know what I mean? So I am glad that Elijah Muhammad taught us the things that we have learned that I will never forget, and I will always keep it with me. And it's not the person. People are always going to be disloyal or not faithful, and because they're individuals, and every individual have to be accountable for their own actions. Every individual should be accountable for your own actions. So the way that we're taught about Al-Islam now is so much real, so much better. And it's teaching us how to forgive and how to change our way of thinking when it comes to when people do things against you or from you. It's not as bad as it always seems. It could be worse, right? So you have to learn to forgive, you know. You have to learn to forgive and move on. You know what I mean? There are good things that I learned about Elijah Muhammad. There's good things I was not satisfied with, you know, and disloyalty was one of them. But, you know, you have to be grateful for what you got out of people, what you learned from people, whether they did wrong or whether they was disloyal. But essence is, I look at the better side, the better points, the better parts. And if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have known those parts, because that's what happened. And you can't say what didn't happen. You have to say what did happen. But I've learned so much from the loyalty that I got from it, from the righteous part that I got from it. But the hating part is not something he taught. It's just people just, if it's in them, they're going to hate anyway. Just what you make out of it. So I made myself say, hey, you know what? I am thankful that I went the route that I went. I'm thankful that my father made a good choice for me, for my life, for giving me life and for giving me another life as a religious way of life. And I will always be grateful for it. And even though I'm disappointed with certain things going along the way, it's okay, because now I've had that to replace with the truth of Al-Islam, the truth. And I'm always searching for the truth. I'm always searching for the truth. I'm just thankful that I didn't turn into Goodfellas like I got here on my wall. The gangster part, if I wasn't a Muslim, I would be a total gangster, and I would be totally hurting some people who hurt me. Right, yeah, right. I would be totally doing that. Right. But the religion has gotten me where there's, you know what? You ever see the movie Equalizer?
Yeah, with Denzel.
Yes, he did. He said this thing. He said, you know, when he found out these people killed his friend, it was like four or five of them. And he came to him and he said, you know what? I'm going to kill each and every one of you. But the sad part of it, I can only do it once. He said, I can only do it once. And wow. And that's the sad part. He can only do it once. So I'm saying that to say this. I would like to kill each and every person that hurt me. But I can only do it once. But see, if I wanted to do it 10 times over, See, a revenge only lasts until it's ended, and that's it. So they always say God punishes people 10 times more than you would. And so, hey, that backed me up right away. I said, yeah, go ahead. I want to see all those 10 times come right there. But see, the only thing about it, our satisfaction is not going to be important. It's God's satisfaction. Gotcha. So, but even if I know he's going to do it 10 times more than that, I'm so good with that. I'm so good with that. I can accept that. But just to kill a person once for some stupid thing he hurt you with, that would be mundane. I would rather him live to suffer. And that's what I did. I made him live to suffer.
DB.
He suffered.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, he got his up and comings for sure. More than I would have ever done. More than I would have ever done. But then again, I forgave him because we did so much good together. We've traveled the world together. We struggled and suffered together. It was awesome. Awesome journey, Fred. Awesome journey.
I bet.
Yeah, it was it was like, compared to the 3 things he bad for me, 85 things he did good.
I bet.
And maybe, yeah, and bad. Only 85 he did good. But the rest of the remainder, it was all bad. And it was bad enough to forgive him for it.
I bet.
It was bad enough to forgive him for it and see him suffer for it.
I bet.
And I saw him suffer more than I wanted to. And it was a good thing because people are going to make mistakes. Some people are not going to choose the right way or the right path. And they're going to do what they're going to do. But then again, that's for them to learn from.
Sure.
You know what I mean? That's for them. And this is the thing. I thank Allah for my father. By having a man like him to be good to my mother and good to his family, it's like I always knew if I know this man exists, then all the bad men doesn't mean anything because I know that there are good men out there because I actually see them with my own eyes. And I will always be grateful to our Black men who have the power to do the right thing, to the right family, to the right wife, to be loyal as much as they can. And if you're not going to be loyal, try to keep it far, far away from your family. You know, and your punishment will be the fact that we find out. That will be your punishment. But because we always end up finding out. Nothing hides under the sun.
I bet.
So you know what? Muhammad Ali's he's like a big elephant in New York City. You can't hide that guy. So everything that you do, wrong or right, everybody's gonna see it. And I guess he did not see the big picture. And we're not all, bad people. We just make mistakes. We make big mistakes. Sure. And that's for all of us. We all make big mistakes. And, I'm not perfect either, but I didn't do what he did. I wouldn't do what he did. I wouldn't do that. But we all made mistakes in life. And you know what? Whatever anybody thinks, everybody, like my grandmother said, every tub sits on its own bottom. You see? So it's not bad. We just make mistakes. We do things out of lust. We do things out of emotions.
Sure.
And sometimes we do things out of respect. And we're going to be graded for those things. Elijah Muhammad is not here anymore. He did his duty as what he thought would be good to uplift our Asiatic original people, our indigenous people, he did what he had, and then he had his own issues. But it's the fact that he gave so much more. He gave so much more. And you have to give them respect for the more that they did. And just forgive them for the bad that they did, and just keep them on that throne of respect, on the throne of success, on the throne of sacrifice. It's much more important than the bad stuff. It really is. Yeah. And Malcolm was, I loved his laugh. I mean, when that man laughed, everybody, and you might not even think it was funny, but you would laugh along with him anyway, because he was that wholesome. He was that genuine. That man's been through so much in life. And I think he repented himself through Allah for the most part, and came out of his demonhood, his reckless ways of life. But that's how he learned about life. That's how he learned who he was. And I forgive Malcolm for anything he did. I'll forgive any man for anything that they do wrong, because that's the only thing that we're going to have to protect us. That's the only thing that we're going to have that will provide for us. And that is the only thing that we have that will lead us. And we just have to forgive. I don't appreciate our women. They don't give enough for the men to give them encouragement and support. Just sending the men to jail and all of this. I mean, they need to sit down and talk to the fathers of the children's father and say, look, sweetheart, we've made some bad decisions, but you are a good man and you could be better. Be stronger. And if you say that enough to a black man, you'll turn him all the way around. He'll be able to do more things to you than you can ever dream of, because they're worthy of the good word. And if they just going to be an outright dog, let them be a dog by themselves. Don't you call them that. Don't call them that. And as much as I tried to help Ali get on the right track, he did his duty. We had fun. I enjoyed him. We had children. We had a lot of fun. And I decided, hey, you know what? I'm not going to have no judge tell us what to do with our kids. Those are our children, right? So, let's be friends, man. You sure you ain't going to fall in love with me again? No, we're going to be friends, bro. And I just don't want nobody hurting you. And you letting these women hurt you. They're gold diggers. That's all they want. They don't care about you and nobody else's of what's going in their pocket. That's it. So you know what? I'm going to be your friend. I'm going to be the mother of your children, and I'm going to be your friend. That's the way it's going to be with us. We ain't on arguing, fighting, fuss. And that's not, we've been too far, too long to do the right thing. Let's just be friends, bro. And if our attitude with our women would be with the fathers of their children, they should be the same way. It's old news, babe. It's done. Whatever's been done has been done. Get over it. Let's start a new plantation. Let's start a new life. Bro, you can do anything you want. Don't argue with that man. Give him encouragement and then let it go. See what he do. And if he hears it enough, long enough, he'll pull through with strength, with integrity, if that's where they want to go, because they make their kingdom the way they want to make their kingdom. So many influences out here. We have to try to teach them to be strong, that's all. Yeah. A lot of women don't trust men no more. They go with women now. That's really bad. That's bad. I'm going to tell the world that's bad. Yeah. Tell them. I said it, and I ain't biting my tongue about it.
Yeah. No, I'm glad you
ahead,
spoke
DB.
on